see here. This chat. Hey, Loogie Lord. I am just doing a little stream. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Just was gonna see what's popping. What the action's like here, the streaming. A couple people asked me if I was going to stream. I've been pretty busy today. I haven't even had time to read the new One Piece. And I've been trying to read Jujutsu Kaisen. Put out a new video today about the fastest way to change your eye color. You know, the foods you can eat. I'm surprised it's 40 minutes long. I did not think it was going to be 40 minutes long when I was making that. But I guess for all the topics I covered, I guess that's not unreasonable. But there were like 9 topics. So it's like 5 minutes on each topic. What's on the menu tonight? Actually, I ate. I ate already. I ate kind of early because my dinner from last night, I didn't finish it, and I just kept it in the fridge. So I just ate that with more beef liver and some oysters, and that's what I ate today. I also had, eggs and cheese mostly, some milk, yeah, so it was pretty good. Yeah, I had a lot of beef liver. I ordered like 4 pounds at the butcher, and yeah, it was tasty with some pineapple, some of that leftover sirloin, and what else? And butter, a little bit more honey. Oh, yeah, thank you. I always appreciate that. That's super cool of you. How do you do that, by the way? How do you make the timestamps? Is that something AI does for you, or? Because I see that, and I'm not even sure how to do that, like, on my end. I don't even really care to do that because, yeah, I mean, people should watch the whole video. Excuse me. And, yeah, so. So, what's up out there? What's everybody eating? How's everybody's day? I went to get my I'm starting to eat cross-cut shanks. I'm going to give the cross-cut shanks a try. Because it comes with bone marrow. So that would be like half of my fat serving for the meat meal included in the price of the meat, which was 50 cents cheaper than the other sirloin I would buy. So I thought to myself, maybe it just makes sense to buy this. Because the price of bone marrow went up to $8.50 a pound. So it doubled almost. Pretty crazy. Prompt, timestamp the topics, place the timestamp before the topic. Oh, nice, Gemini. Yeah, I use Gemini too. It's pretty cool. I haven't gotten into vibe coding too much, except with like a little bit of Python and ChatGPT. But I haven't really needed to vibe code anything since I got done with my boot camp. But yeah, I would probably try to use Claude if I was going to be using coding a lot, because I hear that's pretty good. But it's pretty crazy. They have a lot of different AI tools to do code review. Companies and startups launching it, not just like bigger. There's ways to make it work, I guess. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I was trying to set up a crypto wallet, like something that had to be run and coded in a language, and ChatGPT was really helpful, just copying and pasting what was going wrong, and it told me what to do. Interesting. Yeah, narratives. Yeah, like I said, I would use it for coding. It's apparently the best one for coding. I hear Grok is pretty good too, but yeah, I think Grok kind of loses out because it's part of Twitter. It's not like a dedicated AI, you know. Let me mute this just in case. I don't want to get any copyright strikes. Like one time, I was listening to a song, but it was before, I streamed, but somehow I played it, and I think it picked up through my desktop the sound, and I got a copyright strike. I had to remove the 3-second bit or whatever. 40 Days was the song. It's an old jazz funk sort of tune. Really cool. Is coding difficult? Not when you have AI. It's actually really easy when you have AI. I think it depends on the type of person and learning style you do. Because it's about having to utilize and maintain conceptual gears and commands and what code does. So arranging these gears and commands in lines is what creates good code. And of course there's all sorts of nuances and subtleties, such as you can write a program a lot of different ways, but there's parameters, especially when you're designing stuff for a product or a company or an end user. There's parameters such as it has to operate in this way. It can only use so much memory. The logic has to be consistent so it works. It has to interface with other systems. So it's not easy. But I would say the barrier to entry to get into coding is a lot lower now because of AI assisted coding and code reviews. The code review is the most important part because you can generate a bunch of code from an AI, but it won't be secure generally. It will also be kind of hard to follow. So that's why there's like AI that codes, and then they have code review. So you can review your code and it will help clean it up. It will help check for security vulnerabilities. And this is a service that companies are starting to offer. They're building their own LLMs to specifically do this. And the coding has come a long way. 6 months ago, you couldn't do the type of stuff you can do now. And so the landscape is constantly changing and evolving at a very rapid pace. So it's very cool because a lot of people might be still thinking, oh, you can't really do that much with AI, coding. Because they learned about it 6 months ago, 8 months ago. But now it's like, it's a lot better. So for me, getting into cybersecurity, I don't really want to focus too much on a lot of coding, a lot of the technical stuff. I'd want to do more policy because I'm a more literary oriented person as opposed to coding. I think I could do it and I would be okay at it, but it's not something I would enjoy doing or excel at. Google Notebooks language model. Put all your PDFs of all your books in it. Interesting. I have a bad habit of downloading ebooks and then forgetting about them and not reading them. 9 times out of 10. The last ebook I actually made an effort to read was The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which is a really great book. But yeah, I grew up with the books, and I always enjoy the books more. The print is a lot better for me. I retain the information better. I like it better. Being on the screen, I didn't grow up with screens really like kids did today. The tablets and such. I think that's the change. Because I grew up with computers and video games. So I'm not a screen averse person. I get the screens, but this this kind of stuff, not necessarily my first choice. The manga I read on my phone, but as far as like reading books, I prefer to do it in print in hard copies, or maybe on a bigger screen would be nice. But I don't really do too much of that, but I maybe should. When I was studying, I was doing a lot of reading on my computer and even the phone on the go. So oh, that ruins the magic of literature. That's okay for nonfiction, but to appreciate a story, the art of the story, the art of the narrative, that ruins it. For me personally. Boy, I'm getting eepy. To pass some gas. have been passing some nasty gas today. I think it's because I added pineapple back to my diet. I'm doing the pineapple and the eggs and the cheese. Yeah, so yeah, I've got this video out about cleaning the eyes fast with those foods. And then I'm gonna show you my irises, which is actually pretty interesting. Right. Yeah, that's a good use of it. Efficient way to learn, I suppose. Especially a broad range of topics to get a base knowledge of a certain topic. Okay, we got a question in chat. If someone only has access to conventional factory grain-fed beef, is it still better to eat raw or to cook it slightly? So here's the thing. Cooking your meat doesn't make it safer. It doesn't make it less toxic. So scrape it and eat it raw. And you might be interested to see my video about the cleaning, the decontamination of the toxic meat. Okay? Because that's really just as big, if not a bigger issue, than the factory farming meat, honestly. Because it's even worse than I thought. I like I said, I'd said this before, but when I was at the grocery store, they were closing down the butcher's thing, and they have this hose of like degreaser, and they're just spraying it everywhere on everything, and I'm like, ugh. I'm eating beef from here? Good Lord. And I was even interviewing to be a butcher at one of these places, and I was asking him, I was like, oh, what do you use to spray your meat, to clean your meat? And he's like, oh, we have a bunch of chemicals. Not very encouraging. They also use a sanitizer on the equipment. They let it air dry. So the sanitizer is just baked into the surfaces. The first meat of the day is getting all that sanitizer, that air dried. Yeah. And they spray the meat when they process it at the USDA slaughterhouse. They may even spray the meat when they break it down at the butcher. So it's really bad. So yeah, I would cut off 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch of your meat. If you buy a roast, just cube that thing. Cube it. 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch off every surface. Honestly. That might not even be getting all of it, but it's probably going to get most of it. And just, yeah, eat it raw. It's not going to make a difference, really, if it's grain-fed or if it's grass-fed, to cook it or to not cook it. The only thing you get by cooking it is you're losing nutrients, possibly releasing toxins that are bound into the fats or the muscle. That's the word. And yeah, it's pretty yeah, it's, I mean, you know, whatever, you transition into it, not everybody can just jump into this. So it doesn't really matter if the animal is lean or not. Toxins store in the fat, but honestly, it isn't really the injections that are the biggest concern when eating animals. It's the pesticided feed they eat, and the hormones and all that other stuff that get into the muscle, right? Because the building blocks of the muscle meat in the cells is the food they eat. It's not a jab they get. Keep in mind, cows are only kept alive for 2 to 3 years, 3 years max, before they're sent to slaughter. Most cows get to be a year and a half and they're sent to slaughter. So they're only getting one jab. And it's not a lot, okay? The problem, like I said, are the antibiotics and the pesticide feed, the GMO feeds. That's what's not good about the meats. And yeah, that's what's going on there. And then you take into account all the spraying of the meat and the cleaning chemicals. Forget about it. I've shown you the videos of them actually spraying meat. And it's not too hard. Just ask your local meat producer, how they feed their cow. What do they get? It's antibiotics and grain feed, and it's nasty. And that gets into the muscle. That goes everywhere, but especially the muscle, because that's what's building the body, the food. So lean meat, lean with fat, doesn't really matter. The lean muscle meats are going to be a little better, but it's still not good. I can't afford farm fresh, so I buy an imported ground beef from New Zealand. I've been eating it raw and I feel fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a noticeable thing. The frozen meat is not going to cause, as long as you're not fermenting it, it's not going to cause a lot of symptoms. You don't even need to buy farm fresh. Like, it's your supermarket. I'm sure they have a butcher counter, and it would probably be cheaper to buy the meat there than to buy it shipped in from New Zealand. Of course, Trump made it so that they can import. Maybe I should do a video on that. Beef prices. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Okay, I need to do a. Okay, so tier lists. More tier lists. You guys like that? Just ranking different kinds of food. And a sleep video and Trump beef. So what's happening with beef prices is he got in on office to do affordability because cost of living is just ridiculous. And he's trying to get the meat prices down. So what he's doing to get the meat prices down is to import a bunch of beef from Argentina and all these other countries to make more supply to lower the price of beef for the consumer. But this is cutting into beef ranchers, of course. This is cutting into their profits. But it's also, you're also getting beef from some other country that God knows how it was raised or what it was. And there's an issue too where they can label the beef from the U.S., I think, if it's shipped in and like prepackaged, like repackaged. I think they can do that. I might have to double check on that. Let's actually, you know what? Let's just ask Gemini right now. Okay. Which country do you think is the best for primal and hunting is better than farm raised? Yeah, hunting is always going to be more nutritious than farm raised. The country, okay, so the U.S. is honestly probably the best place for the primal diet, in addition to Europe. So Europe and the United States are the best places, no contest. Okay, so there's a new USDA rule that takes effect 1st of January 2026. Beef can no longer be labeled product of USA simply because it was repackaged or processed here. So yes, there was a loophole where people could import beef, process it here, and call it USA beef. The new rule requires any beef to carry a voluntary product of USA or made in the USA label. The animal must have been born in the U.S., raised in the U.S., slaughtered in the U.S., processed in the U.S. But they can still use qualified claims that are factually accurate. For example, sliced and packaged in the U.S. using imported beef from blank. So, interesting. They're actually not importing eggs anymore. They were, but now they're not. It's not weird. I mean, a lot of countries import stuff when they're low on supply. The thing is there's more farm. You have to realize there's more farms closing than that are opening every year in the United States. It's something like, I think it's. Let me check. I love this. How many farms close in the U.S. annually? I think it could be in the thousands, in the low thousands. Downward trend. Here we go. Recent annual drop. From 2023 to 2024, the U.S. lost approximately 14,950 farms in a single year. A 5-year average between 2017 and 2022, the U.S. lost the total of 141,733 farms, averaging out to roughly 28,000 closures per year. The number of American farms is approximately 1.88 million. So 1.8 million farms, 1.9 million farms are feeding a country of 330 million people. That's why we have to import food, because the government does not support small farms. The only farms that get massive government support are the ones that farm corn and soy. I talked about this in my bailout video. They're the only ones that get the government support. Then you factor in things like right to repair. A lot of farmers who use farm equipment, new farm equipment, they don't have a right to repair them. They have to take it into the shop, and it costs them thousands and thousands of dollars. So farmers just get screwed all the time. What's up, Silhouette Sith? If you add oysters to the red meat and butter, can you still do royal jelly at the end? Yeah, absolutely. The royal jelly is not something that, you can eat it even with the food, I believe. I'm not a royal jelly expert, honestly. I know it's supposed to help the protein, whatever, when you eat meat meals, but I'm not going to spend the money on it. I don't really know if it's worth it. I've never talked to anybody who's done the royal jelly that said, oh, I did the royal jelly, I noticed a difference and it was worth it. So I'm a little skeptical, honestly. You get raw coconut cream from Healthfully Farm. I talked about it in my video. I should have put that in my, maybe I'll do that. I'll put a link to Healthfully Farm in my YouTube description there. There we go. Yeah, healthfullyfarm.com. Yeah. I don't order coconut cream often though, honestly, because I just don't use it a lot. Times ahead are really bad. Be ready spiritually, emotionally, also. Yes. Also physically, guys. Do your push-ups. Hendrik Kluge. Hello, Hendrik. Let's see. We got people popping off in here. 8 viewers, 4 likes. That's great. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. I watched the new Spinal Tap movie. It wasn't very good. It was entertaining enough to keep me kind of watching mostly, but there was no real laughs in it. And if you didn't see the first one, it's not worth watching the second one. It really isn't even honestly worth it to watch the second one. I mean, it's okay, but it's, like I said, it's entertaining, but it's not. It's not that good. I would like to watch. I haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut yet. I'd like to watch that. It was a little too late to get into that movie, though. Saturday night. Do trad wives even exist? No, not really. Do you have any cavities, and are they reversible, and how do you deal with tartar? Good question. So, yes, you can reverse your cavities. You can stop your cavities. It appears you can do this more than one way without the primal diet. There's hydroxyapatite toothpaste. A lot of people seem to have success with it. Not something I would use personally. But, for instance, because I had braces as a lad, in addition to going to the dentist every year, where they take a metal pick and they scrape the bottoms of your teeth for like no reason. It's so stupid. I have enamel wear on my molars, and not all of my molars, just some more than others, right? And that wear is because of, like I said, the braces, and because of getting the scrapings every year. After 20 or so years, 23 years, 24 years, maybe, when did I stop going to the dentist? No, it was like 28 years 28 years of scraping adds up. So, and this is something the dentist told me he sees in a lot of patients who have had braces. It's also something I've spoken to other people about on the diet, and they said this has happened to them, which is where, your parotid glands, which is your salivary glands, and as well as your gums, toxins come out of those places, right? Especially things like metals, and the metals create an acidic environment in the mouth. Especially if you sleep with your mouth open. That's not good. So, there's like a perfect storm of things happening that can affect your teeth in a bad way. But what I have is some wear on the enamel. Maybe I'll do a video on this too. And I noticed it when I was drinking a lot of celery juice. And then I realized after reading the book, I need to be drinking celery and parsley juice. Because everybody talks about celery juice. And I say this all the time. But, celery juice is not part of the diet. It's not good. So, anyway, I realized this was happening, and I was looking at what to do. But I've heard from people that if you just do the diet, the teeth will fill in. Augenus said that he didn't see people over 32 fill in their teeth because whatever. He just said he didn't see it. I think that's because largely most of his clients did not do the diet. And his clients who were doing the diet a lot, they were very sick. So their teeth really weren't regenerating. But people who do the diet, they keep up with it, their teeth will come back. For instance, I had some sensitivity in my teeth, but that's all gone. Even where I have the wear in my enamel, it's just along the gum line. It's very little bit on 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 teeth. So, what I can say is eat your cheese with a little bit of honey. The less honey, the better. A teaspoon of honey for 2 tablespoons of cheese is good. Eating the sugars, eating fruit, upsets the calcium and phosphorus balance in your bloodstream, which is paramount to keeping your teeth healthy. In fact, all your bones. You can watch my bone mass video about that. But, yeah, avoiding sugar is key. And then balancing calcium and phosphorus. I think it's 2 to 1. You want like 2 calcium to every 1 phosphorus. Check me on that. Fact check me on that. I'm not sure if that's the right ratio, but if I do recall correctly, you want a little bit more calcium than phosphorus, because it's why the milk is good and the cheese is good. And Augenus says, milk should be a part of your diet. It does not replace the fat because you need the minerals in the milk. So that's the calcium part. So for strong teeth, oysters and liver. Oysters in general, but if you do the oysters and liver, it's a little better because the copper and the zinc will work together really well. And then, of course, milk. Fresh milk, if it's not refrigerated, the best. You can't beat it. Fermented milk, second best. It's basically almost cheese at that point. So, more minerals. And stay away from fruit if your teeth are sensitive. Honestly, you're probably better off without fruit in general, unless you're trying to do a certain formula for something that you need to do. And make sure you're putting parsley in your celery juice. Like, vegetable juice should be celery and parsley. You need the minerals. You need the minerals in the parsley with the celery juice to really help the blood. Otherwise, it doesn't do the job, and it might actually affect you negatively. No, it does affect you negatively. So, the oysters, the cheese, the milk, fish is really good, especially if you can eat little fish and get the bones. Bone marrow would be good, obviously. Oil pulling, cheese pulling. I've talked about all these things. Lightly flossing is not a bad idea, and using a Sonicare toothbrush. The other reason people's teeth go to hell is because they don't brush. They don't think they don't need to brush. You do need to brush, absolutely. I recommend the Sonicare toothbrush. I think it's the best. All right, I've missed quite a few. Cavities are not reverse. Oh, hold on. Whoa. Most of the men around me are weak and won't do what must be done to save our future. This is a mess. Okay. Rob Reiner, fake death. You think it was fake? It's funny, Bill. I just watched Spinal Tap, the second one. He was in that. Cavities are not reversible if it reaches the root of the teeth. I don't know about that. I think if you re-nutrify the roots, I think it could be okay. But the problem is it's going to be very sensitive. Phoenix told me a story. He knew someone on the diet who was on the diet fully, and he had his fillings removed, and his teeth were not in good shape. And instead of getting his teeth filled in, he decided to keep them empty. Okay, and so this guy for 2 years, he said it took him 2 years for the pain to stop. But the pain stopped and his teeth started growing back. So his teeth were exposed to possibly the outer edges or middle of the roots. And he filled in his teeth. His teeth filled in. And Phoenix himself told me that he had some teeth filled in with the epoxy or whatever that were deep. And he left some of them not filled. And the ones that were not filled, they kind of grew back too. So I don't know if I've had a teeth grow back yet. But like I said, my teeth have gotten really strong. They're not sensitive anymore, even where I have the wear of the enamel. My dentin is still, rock solid. My dentin has not degraded, but the enamel has along the gum line just a little bit in a few places. Like I said, from the braces, from the scraping. So if you're still young and your parents are taking you to the dentist, don't get the scraping. Don't get the polish. Try to stay away from the x-rays. Just get the water scaling. The water scaling does the job. They don't even need to do the scraping anymore, but they do. They're so stupid. But the water scaling, it gets rid of all the tartar, all the plaque. You can learn to do it yourself with a mirror. I've tried to bribe dental students to do it for me, but they're all a bunch of goody two-shoes and they won't do it. I'm thinking about just going to the dentist and going in for a cleaning and then just refusing everything except the water scaler. Be like, I just sit down and they'll be like, okay, can you rinse your mouth out with this mouthwash? I'll be like, no, I don't. I'm not going to do that. Thanks, though. I'm good. Oh, okay. We want to. You need to take some x-rays. You haven't been in here for 5 years, so you want to take some x-rays. No, I'm okay with that. It's like, and then say, my line of thinking is going to be like, oh, no, we need your x-rays, though. It's like, well, what's the problem? X-rays are a diagnostic tool. I'm not coming to you for a diagnosis. I'm not coming to you with a problem. I'm coming to you for a cleaning. Yeah, but it's procedure. We take an x-ray. Yeah, but why do you take x-rays in the medical field? You take them to diagnose a problem. I don't have any problems. Look at my last x-rays. My roots are excellent. My teeth are fine. There's no reason to do an x-ray. You can charge me for it if you want. Whatever. If that makes you feel better, but I'm not going to do an x-ray. I don't need to do an x-ray. If you're not going to, I'll just leave if that's okay. I mean, I don't want to inconvenience you. I mean, I just want the water scaler, to just clean my teeth. That's all I need. Maybe they'll do it. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't let me stay. But, yeah, that's literally all you need. You don't need the fluoride. You don't need the mouthwash. You don't need them to scrape your teeth. You just need them to use the water scaler. That gets everything off your teeth. So that's going to be my line. Maybe I'll make a video out of that. We'll see. I'm surprised you said the U.S. is the best place to live for the primal diet. What about cheaper places like South America or certain parts of Asia? So, I think Costa Rica might be okay, but it's just so expensive. The thing is the places in South America where you can actually do the primal diet and get the foods you need at the quality you need, it's not going to be much cheaper than the United States. Honestly, it's not going to be much cheaper. For instance, I'm in Ohio. The diet's pretty cheap. I can get milk. I can get A1 milk for $3 a gallon. I can get the A2 milk for $7. The butter is $5 a pound. I can get a quart of cream for $10. I can get non-chemical beef. No injections, no cleaning chemicals, okay? $9-10 a pound. Grass-fed, the best beef. $10 a pound. I can get Amish poultry, sheep, and pork shipped to me for $4.85 to $8 a pound. No chemicals, perfectly fed. Rabbits perfectly fed, $9 each. Yeah, you can get all the vegetables you need. That's not always going to be the case in South America. You might be able to get more sugarcane juice, but yeah. So I know Mexico's not good for the diet. I know a guy from Australia. He's lived in America a lot, and he went to Mexico. He actually stayed with Prem, if you guys remember Prem from Gotus videos. Prem. And this guy said the food just sucks in Mexico. The milk sucks. The meat isn't as good. There's not enough fat. And he wasn't feeling good there. And he told me, Prem told his dad, or maybe he heard from his dad or someone, but Prem was just in the river, like, closing his eyes, looking up at the sun. He says, just another primal who can't handle the detox. That's literally what he said. And it's just because the food in Mexico sucks. I saw a picture from someone in Costa Rica recently. You know, they had some milk, they had some meat, but it's going to be expensive. Costa Rica is already super expensive. It's not a cheap place to be. So, especially because it's going to be gentrified. You know, Paul Saladino's down there. He's going to bring all his animal-based people there. It's just going to get super expensive. It's not going to be any cheaper. Asia, so like some places might be good, but you're not going to get a lot of like the butter. It's going to be hard to get the butter. The dairy can also be a challenge in some places. I know in Taiwan they have dairies. The north of Japan they have dairies. Did I say Thailand? Thailand has some dairies. I have a client there. One of my school members actually is living in Pattaya. And, you know, he says it's pretty decent. Where else? So I lived in Nepal. The diet would be okay there. It would be not extremely cheap, though. Like, you'd be able to get sugarcane juice and buffalo milk. You'd be able to get chicken and goat and buff, you know, for meat. You'd have to make your own cheese or pay someone to make it for you. What else am I missing? You'd have to get fat trimmings from animals. But yeah, it's not too cheap there. It's not cheap like it was when I used to live there. Inflation's kind of hit the whole world, man. It's pretty expensive. I hear places in North Africa like Tunisia is pretty good. I've talked to a few Tunisians. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Canada's tough because they're really strict on the dairy. So, let's see here. Do you think AI AI girlfriends could be the future, like ruining the AI model on your own GPU offline for privacy? You've put some thought into this. Well, there is the age-old wisdom of 2D girls will never cheat on you. So there's that. You have yellow teeth also? I would say my teeth are not yellow. I'd say they're pretty decent. They're not pearly white. They're not whitened teeth white. But they're not... I've had people tell me I have good teeth. I've had people tell me unsolicited my teeth look great. I attributed that to the oysters. If the tooth is too decayed to the nerve, it's done unless you can use stem cells or electrical current to regrow teeth. Yeah, I don't know about that. Are fillings toxic? Yes. They are, especially the mercury ones. The composite are not too bad. It depends on the ingredients. You got to ask your dentist what ingredients they use. My teeth felt so strong just a few months after drinking raw milk daily. Yes. A quart of raw milk a day can stop tooth decay. Just 1 quart. Fillings used to be made of metals, right? There actually are metals in the composite. Like there's aluminum and plastics is what they use for composites now. Milk that doesn't taste of cow shit, which is difficult to find. Not really. I wonder if they make water scalers for personal use. Yeah, they do. You can buy them on eBay. You can buy a water scaler on eBay. Nothing's stopping you. Go buy a water scaler on eBay. It's $100. It can be kind of hard to use because it's very high pressure, and one wrong move, it'll cut your gums. It hurts. So I'm told. That's why I'm a little nervous to use one, because it can tear up your gums. So, yeah. Why did humans start cooking meat? I have no idea. Envy is rising. The PA reside in Primal Asylum. Access to Amish gold should reside. Okay. The U.S. is the best for sure. Yes. You know people that live in Russia on raw meat? I think there's a few people on Instagram I'm mutuals with. They're Russian. I don't know if they live in Russia, but it looks like it. I've seen them make their own cheese and eat the raw meat and stuff. Then there has to be a few states where it's not as bad EMF and chemical-wise. I was thinking Florida since they became stricter with certain issues, but it seems expensive over there. Yeah, the other issue about Florida is the water's really bad. The water in Florida is some of the worst in the country because there's a lot of like nitrates and sulfates for agriculture and mining. So not good. And that stuff gets dumped into the water. And yeah. Florida's also very expensive, yes. But yeah, lots of overdevelopment issues. You know, they're kind of like turning a blind eye to environmental concerns and violations of these people. So, you know, and then you look at places like Virginia, Ohio, you know, Pennsylvania, where the land's cheap, and you have a bunch of these data center companies coming in, and they're talking about like putting their wastewater they use for cooling and dumping it into the waterways. It's super messed up. So yeah, and then you got to live next to a loud data center. It's bad, man. The data centers are like the Mako reactors in Final Fantasy VII. Hello from Iowa. Greetings, Phil. Do you mean a water flosser? No, I don't. I don't mean a water flosser. I mean a water scaler. It's a high-pressure device that can cut your gums. It's not something you use in your gums. Water flosser is also very good. I should get one of those. A good water flosser. What water flosser do you use, Jim? What brand would you recommend to us? 13 viewers, 5 likes. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the support. Yeah, I get that, but I'm talking about, yeah, it's not getting used to the pressure. The water scaler will literally cut into your gums and make you bleed. It's not like it's high pressure. It's not like it's a little bit of pressure to get the stuff out of your gums. It gets tartar off your teeth. It's two different things. I grew up on a dairy farm where milk never tasted like cow shit. I'm in Florida. Come join. If you had to choose a state in the U.S. for the primal diet, which one would you choose if budget wasn't an issue? Wasn't an issue? I have no idea. The brand is Waterpick. Wow. Amazing. I'm going to pin this real quick. I just suppose I would stay in Ohio. And Ohio kind of is, I mean, it's a decent place, but I feel like one of the things about Ohio is complaining about Ohio. That's how you like know if you're from Ohio. It's kind of like, you know, you complain about it, but you know, like a lot of other places are worse, and you're kind of like, well, it's kind of average, but that's kind of what's not great about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd want to live in California if money wasn't an issue. Well, I don't know, maybe. California is like really nice. The weather's so nice in California. And you can get all the food you need there, so maybe I would. Yeah, the sunshine. California sunshine. San Diego, maybe. I like San Diego. I don't know. I'd give Florida a shot, maybe. I guess California or Florida or Ohio. I guess. The Northeast is really pretty. It's really beautiful, but I just don't know like what else is up there. Anyway, dumping water that animals then drink. Well, it also gets into the drinking water that humans drink too, yeah. My hygienist uses an ultrasonic scaler. It's good. Yeah, ultrasonic scaler, that's what I'm thinking of. Ultrasonic scaler. It's an ultrasonic device. It uses water to cool everything, though. That's why I was thinking of water scaler. Ultrasonic scaler, yeah. I lived in SoCal. It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I spent a weekend in San Diego once, and it was honestly amazing. People were really chill, and a lot of good-looking girls, honestly. A lot of good-looking women there. But honestly, that's just something I've noticed about California in general. LA, San Diego, San Francisco. And yeah, the weather was just really nice. The weather was just perfect. That's like 50% of the reason like why California is nice. It's just because the weather is just perfect all the time. The sun and the air, and you got the sea there. You can go to the desert. There's the mountains. It's just kind of perfect, you know. And like I said, people are really chill. People are really, you know, for the most part, pretty chill. I mean, you got crazies everywhere, but like, I don't know. San Diego is also a little bit more of a Republican city than the rest of California. It's a little bit more conservative, traditionally, generally, from what I've seen, from what I've read. Not so much what I've experienced there because I was just there for a weekend, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I really like San Diego. I'd like to go back to San Diego. Is Brazil good for the primal diet? Not really. A lot of the Brazilians I talked to said it's not good. Brazil's not good. I think you'd have a problem finding enough fats. And lots of animals get injections. When the weather is better, you just feel better. It's true. When you get that sun. There are places in Patagonia that are good if you like cold climate. Could be. Is it constantly sunny in Ohio? No, it's constantly cloudy. Your environment also plays a role for health. Ideally, low human ethnochemicals, a lot of sun environment paired with the primal diet. Surely that would speed up detox. Yeah. More importantly, it would speed up healing. But no. Ohio is like one of the cloudiest places in the country. Especially central Ohio. Central Ohio was even cloudier than Seattle, to give you an idea. It hasn't been too bad out yesterday. Yes, Christmas Day, we had some sun. I had a fire outside. I was outside all afternoon with the fire and the sun and the sunset. It was pretty good, but today, just gray all day. Tomorrow it's going to be gray all day. Yesterday was gray all day. So, yeah, Ohio's pretty cloudy. Especially, like I said, where I live and up on the lake. Up on the lake's pretty nice, though. You have really great sunsets up at the lake. I don't know what it is, but sunsets at Lake Erie just hit different. Really nice. But I agree, when the weather's better, you feel better. The sun makes everything better, obviously. A lot of weather control in my area? I don't think so. I will say, it is pretty common for cities to have a thermal. So like if you live in a big city, the cities give off a thermal. So that's why storms tend to break up when they get to a city, if the conditions are right, because there's a lot of heat coming off the city, so much that it affects the atmosphere. Hi, dog. So no, I don't. I mean, there's a lot of, spraying of the skies, a lot of funny clouds, that sort of thing. But yeah, seems much better than New York. The environment sucks over here, but I do not have difficulty finding high quality, non-tempered food, fortunately, to say the least. Nah. I'd say New York's a little better. It's going to be colder in New York, but New York is really nice. The upstate part, at least. Yes, cities are made of stone and concrete. They do. But it's also the industry and the buildings, like all the houses that are heated or retain heat from the sun. They get heated up by the sun, and then there's a thermal that gives off after the sun goes down or doesn't, The sun heats things up, so that's what happens. It is what it is. But yeah. Primal Uncle. What's up, Bailey? That's me. How are you? How's it going? What'd you eat today? Hi. What did everybody eat today? How much do you worry about EMF in your house? Actually not a lot, because I sleep in the lower level of the house, away. We're not near any power lines, and the cell phone tower is like a mile away. So I'm pretty legit. I don't sleep near any outlets. And I'm not above ground, basically, and I don't have power lines. I run a humidifier or a dehumidifier depending on the season. That's the only electric thing in my room, but I'm pretty far away from it, so I'm not very sensitive to EMF personally. I poisoned myself eating raw chicken on Christmas. I'm sorry to hear that. Looks like Santa had you on his naughty list. Raw milk, blood, duck eggs, sardines. I need to eat some meat, but being kind of lazy, I guess. Well, the sardines are meat, so I barely ate for 2 days. Yeah, sounds like a nice detox. I'm not upstate, unfortunately, but I don't live in New York City. I'm sure you've heard of Long Island. Oh, yeah, Long Island. That's a pretty... it's a pretty interesting place. At least you're out there by the water. I think Long Island's pretty cool. I'm so sensitive to EMF. Well, if you eat more fats, you get more fats in your body, it should help you deal with them. Same as every day, raw chicken tenderloins, raw 2 cream, raw honey, raw potato starch, 1 tablespoon. You really do 1 tablespoon of potato, like you, what is, like, what? How are you doing 1 tablespoon of raw potato starch? Interesting, okay. I thought you were talking about baked, okay. You're lucky your sleeping spot is low EMF. Yeah, I guess I am. I'm going to waste some frozen chickens. Chicken disgusts me now. Yeah, your tastes change, you know? So, you're not craving the chicken. It is what it is. You know, switch to beef, switch to fish. Do a combo. I've got some chicken in the fridge right now. I've got some beef in the fridge and some liver. So, I've been eating a lot of beef recently. So I'll probably switch to just chicken for a few weeks, honestly. I need some cooked starch because I'm tripping right now. Yeah, cooked starch is, hi bubs, is a good thing to have to help calm you down. I got the gubs coming down. Alright. I don't have any food for you. No, I don't. Don't have any food. You big sweetie. You're just a big gub. They like the deer skin. It's really warm. It's good vibes. Yeah, the raw potato starch is interesting. I wouldn't have thought to do that, but yeah, it's a good idea. I personally like a good baked potato, though. I had one last week. I'm thinking about having another one. Maybe. Because I've got some cheddar cheese. The cheddar cheese and the butter, a little fresh cracked peps, and a little green onion on that is so good. Isn't a low heavy metal fish better than best ethically raised poultry nutritionally? They do play different roles, but the fish are wild. You got to understand, like a wild caught fish. And I said earlier, wild meats, wild game is going to be healthier generally than farm-raised beef or farm-raised anything, honestly. So, fish is more expensive, though, depending on where you live. Oh, well, you live in Long Island, so I'm pretty sure if you live there on the coast, you can find a good fish market. And your fish prices are probably pretty good. And your oysters, those Blue Points. I've been getting those Blue Point oysters, man. Those are tasty. Blue Points are bussin' this time of year, man. I've really been digging those. So, yeah. I'd be oyster and fish smashing if I were you. Living on the coast, that's what I would do. You could get a hold of Adam from Healthfully Farm. He might have some chicken meat for you if you ask him nicely, if you're a good customer. I've also got 2 herd shares. In fact, my guy in Ohio who does chicken, 100% no corn, no soy. He sends chicken to a guy I know in Maryland. He gets whole chickens. And they're good chickens. It's great meat. They're not too big, but, they're tasty. You're probably paying, after shipping, $40 for a bird, honestly. So it's like $10 a pound for poultry, which is kind of steep, but it is no corn, no soy. So Honestly, for me, I would just eat Bell and Evans. I just eat Bell and Evans for the price. $7.49 for chicken thighs, Bell and Evans. But I mean, if you're gonna eat the tenders or the breasts or something else from Bell and Evans, you're paying $11.50 a pound for the organic stuff. So, to pay $10, $11 a pound for meat shipped to you, that's no corn, no soy, no chemicals. Not really a bad deal. That's kind of the market price for chicken, for that quality of chicken. I'm addicted to my phone, but not for the same reason as most people. I actually don't enjoy my phone, but I don't have any friends, so I'm stuck inside. Do you have any advice? I'm sorry to hear that, Gus. The virtual world is a cruel temptress because you can design it how you like and it can be comfortable. It's the Black Mirror. Yeah. It's a sighing mirror. It's a portal to demons, which can be fun, I guess, but you just have to do things on your own. You can't let not having friends be an excuse to sit inside on your phone all day. There's all kinds of things you can do in the world. And I mean, heck, even if you do bring your phone to these places, at least you're getting out. Go to the conservatory. I like going to the conservatory in the winter, especially. It's all green. The air's fresh. You don't get that outside in the winter, in Ohio at least. There's the art museum. There's all kinds of museums you can go to in your area, maybe, or close by, and make a day of it. Go when it's free or reduced admission, and get out of the house. Take up a hobby or something you've always wanted to try. I started doing Kyokushin karate when I was 25. And pretty much most people would have told me in my life that it's dangerous, that you're going to get injured, you're too old to do that. But they didn't know anything. And you know what? I never even bothered to ask their opinion. I just went and did it because I wanted to do it. And I learned a lot. It was great. I got some good memories. I got a lot of muscle memory, that's for sure. So you just kind of have to do what you want to do. Your phone opens you to a world of possibilities, and if you're healthy and you're smart and you can save up a little bit of money, you can go out into that world and actually go to those places. Especially when you're young. It's really cheap to travel, especially if you don't have to worry about your home. Like if you're living with your parents or whatever, or you can live with your parents or whatever, like you can move in with your parents and keep your stuff there. And that's what a lot of these rich kids do. Like these people that travel or go live somewhere, they most likely come from money, or they can lean on their parents to watch their stuff, or keep an address in the States so they can travel everywhere. And when you're young, you can do it. You can get a work visa to work for the summers in New Zealand and Australia to go work on farms. You can go to different countries, anywhere pretty much, and work at a hostel. You can travel around America and work at a hostel. You're like, hey, I'm going to be here for 3 weeks. Can I help out at the hostel in exchange for a room? Yeah, you can. So, just go travel. Just go out and do things. Save up some money and go do it. It's not hard. Go find something you like to do in your town. Start small. Eventually, you'll just get bored of your phone. The phone's boring. After a while. It's all the same stuff. And like I said, you don't need friends to go out and do things. I don't really have friends to go out and do things. When I want to go to the conservatory, I go to the conservatory by myself. If I want to see a movie, I go to the movie by myself. If I want to go to a concert or listen to something or see this event, I just go. I don't wait for anybody, whatever. I just go do it because I want to do it. That's the way you got to be. You're not stuck inside. You're only stuck inside because you're letting yourself be stuck inside. So get over it. Oysters are great. I consumed one that had a live baby crab, so you know that it was truly wild caught. Actually, farm oysters will have pea crabs in them too. The pea crabs are mostly something that happen in oysters from the northeast coast, farmed or wild. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if your oysters are farmed either. They just put a net in the water. That's all they do. And they're not bad. But yeah, the crabs are great. Extra protein, nice little crunch. The pork from that farmer in Ohio. The pork is pasture raised 100%. The pork is pasture raised 100%, no chemicals. So you could eat that pork all the time. You can eat it. Yeah, you can eat the pork all the time. It's fine. There's, like I said, it's perfect quality. This farmer, everything's perfect quality. Yeah, I said, yeah. The farmer doesn't do anything to his animals. He's an Amish farmer, organic minded. He's transitioning his chickens to no soy feed. The farmer in Ohio has no corn, no soy feed. There's another farmer in, is it Kansas? I forget. But it's in the Midwest, and he is transitioning his chickens to no corn, no soy. Right now they're non-GMO feed, but they're 100% pasture raised, but they get a scratch feed in the winter when the pasture dries up. But everything else is perfect quality. The sheep, the rabbit, the horse, the pork, no injections. It's fine. It's perfect. That's why I'm setting those things up. That's why they cost money to sign up for. Because it's a niche product that you're not going to get anywhere else pretty much. You're welcome, Gust. Yeah, that's just what you got to do, man. It can be kind of scary at first when you go out into the world, but you'll get over the shock and you'll do it. You know, the thing is, you don't want to end up a prisoner in your own hesitation, because you're gonna lock yourself away in this prison of hesitation and anxiety, and you're never going to do anything with your life. Your life is going to be over before you know it, and you're going to look back, at all these opportunities and things you could have done. You're going to meet all these other people who did things with their life, and you're going to look back at your life and you're going to say, I sat inside on my phone all day because what? I was scared of what? And you'll soon realize you were scared of nothing. You were just scared of being free from the shackles of your phone and your perceived expectations of a reality, of a virtual world that don't even exist because it exists in your phone. The world as it is exists out there, and you don't need to be afraid of it. So that's what you got to do, my man. And build some skills. Do some things that are fun. Build some confidence. Get some expertise, and you'll be fine. But you can't just sit inside all day and eat raw meat and expect to get better or have a good life. That's not how it works. So, like today, so I mean, I'm kind of a homebody, but, you know, I mean, I've been around the world twice, okay? You know, I've lived and worked in different countries. I've done things with my life. So, but I'm kind of a homebody. I don't really go out much, honestly. But I'm not depressed about it, you know what I mean? I was typing some emails today. I met with a client today, so I mean, I was working. I did go out and I got my meat and some honey, and some milk, and my water. I got some oysters. So I was out doing things. then I was chilling today. I was with family over the holidays. I went to the conservatory by myself a week ago. I'm going to go back to the conservatory with my family next week. So yeah, I mean, do things. You don't have to do them with people either. So yeah, I'm just telling you, you'll just regret. I mean, there's things I wish I would have done, but I just was too blinded or preoccupied, or I had a preconceived notion of something and I just didn't do it. And it is what it is. I mean, everybody has those types of things. You're not going to be able to seize every opportunity. Eight likes, 7 viewers. That's amazing, guys. How we're an hour and a half into the stream. Yeah. Kind of tired. Oh, it's 11:30. Damn. I don't think I'm gonna have a milkshake tonight. It's kind of heavy for this late. I might sign off and watch some Gundam and then go to bed. Horse meat seems interesting. Yeah, the horse is like really old too. The Amish, when they're done with their horses, they get their use out of them, and they have to, they actually end up eating them, honestly, because they use the meat. And, yeah, horse meat is very lean, and the older the meat is, the better it is, I guess, is what I've heard. But I've never really eaten old meat, because in America, like I said, they process all the cows within 3 years of being alive. And it's like a regulation because of mad cow disease, so I think that's the reasoning. So, yeah, horse, sheep, pork, rabbit, turkey, chicken. So, yeah, it's good stuff. I'd like to try horse meat. I've heard good things. I mean, I like red meat, so I'm sure it's good. I'm not a big lamb guy, but goat's pretty good. I've never had sheep meat. I've had lamb, but I haven't had sheep meat. The lamb meat tastes a little gamier because it's all grass-fed. That's like all they eat. So I guess I'm not the biggest fan of like fully grass-fed meat. Water buffalo from Amos Miller is really good. It's really sweet. And it's actually not that expensive. I thought about ordering some, but Amos Miller does have very expensive shipping and handling. Could you explain how your food share thing works? Yeah, so I got 2 herd shares. To sign up for the herd shares, you have to pay me a fee. This gets you a form and a member number, so you're part of the herd share. Okay? And then you will print and sign your form and mail it in to the herd share. Or you might be able to email it to one guy. He might have his email up and running. You might be able to email it to him. But either way, I let him know who signed up and their number, so you can order immediately as soon as you pay. Well, as soon as you give me a donation for the fee. That's really what it is, a donation for the form. And then I let him know who you are, first name and member number. And then you would call him and you would give him your member number and then give him your order. And then he will send it to your house. Whatever you want. Fresh meat, glands, organs, blood. He's also got cheese and milk. So, Yes, I know the whole cow disease thing, but I'm just telling you that's why it was. So, yeah. The shipping, I don't know how much the shipping is, honestly. It's coming from the Midwest, so if you're outside of the Midwest, it's going to be a little expensive. If you're closer to the areas, the states, it's going to be cheap. Like in Ohio, for the herd share in Ohio, because I live in Ohio, it's $10. So that's not a bad deal. I've been on the diet since September, but I'm experiencing acne breakouts. Is there anything I can do to extend breakouts, or just get fat via diet and do lymph baths? You can. So make sure you're doing your vegetable juice. I find that I break out a little more when I don't do vegetable juice. Make sure you're getting the fats. Some people have a lot of luck helping their acne if they eat liver in their diet. So like I said, liver and oysters will be good. Make sure you're doing your vegetable juices. Make sure you're doing the baths. You know, September is not a long time. So this diet, and you can, Ogenus has even said this is not the diet to start to get rid of skin issues like acne or whatever, because your body's detoxing through your skin. So it just takes time. It just takes time. If you're really worried about your acne, it's on your face, you can use urine. You can do clay packs. Get a thicker clay. Make a thicker clay and put a mask on, especially while you're in the baths. If you can do a clay mask in the bath, it makes your skin a lot better. So that's what I would suggest. Just do hot baths and clay masks every day. If you really want clear skin, that will help. The herd shares are not based in Pennsylvania. They're based in Ohio and Kansas. Yeah, guys, you can check my YouTube videos, but since you're here and active and liking the stream, I'll tell you the prices again. But if you need a reminder, all the prices are on the herd share video. The second herd share video. The first one is outdated. The second one has the updated prices. So for herd share number 1, it's $50 donation to me for the form to get started. The herd share fee to the farmer is $20. You pay that when you place your order. The prices for the meat are $4.85 for poultry, a pound. This is before shipping. $8 a pound for sheep, $7 a pound for pork, $12 a pound for horse, $9 each for a rabbit. Milk is $8 a gallon. Cheese is $6 a pound. I don't know how good the cheese is. He's just getting started with it. Those are the prices for herd share number 1. Herd share number 2, it's $30 donation to me, $35 fee to the farmer for the herd share fee, and then the chickens are about $30 a piece. All he does is chicken. The chickens, all the poultry comes with the necks, the heart, the liver, and the gizzard. And the feet. So that's what the chicken comes with, and the turkeys come with. Yeah. So members, guys, if you're in the school, you get a discount. So you get $15 off. $15 off up to 50% off the donation fee to me for the form to get you started. You don't get discounts for the prices because that's for the farmer. So I don't make any money on this. Okay? The only money I get is the donations for the form fee because I vet the customers, I vet the members for the herd shares. I vet the members for the herd shares, the farmers. So I want them to have good paying customers, return customers, So that's, if someone's going to pay to join, they're going to use it. That's what we want. I want them good customers, reliable customers, and I want to help them grow their business. I don't want a bunch of primal weirdos calling these farmers asking for a bunch of blood and organs and glands, and that's it. That's not going to help them scale their business. So that's why I do it this way. I also spend a significant amount of time talking to these guys over the summer to educate them about what to do and what people want. There's also potential for a third herd share. And this guy has, pristine hogs. It would just be heritage raised hogs that are acorn finished. I don't know what the prices would be. I send him the details. Best foods for height growth in puberty. Yeah, lots of fats, cheese and honey, fermented milk, fish, beef. That's pretty much it. Royal jelly maybe? I don't know, but I don't know about that, like if royal jelly actually works. Bone marrow. That's what I would do if I was going to go back in time and grow to be 6 foot instead of 5'8". I'm only 5'8". I did grow a little bit on the diet though, but I'm not sure if I attribute that to stretching in my posture. It would be cool if you made unsalted cheese. Yeah, no, herd share number 1 definitely makes unsalted cheese. It's $6 a pound. His milk is $8 a gallon. His cheese is $6 a pound. I have other contacts on my food sourcing list in my school. $8 a pound for cheese. Actually, it might be $8.50 now. I forget. It's pretty cheap. But those are the 2 cheapest cheeses you can get through me. One through the herd share, the other through my dairy contact on my school. He's got Colby and cheddar. They're pretty good. Do all Amish are traditional or some modern normal Americans? Well, they're not modern normal Americans. The one guy for herd share number 1, he has email. He has yodermail.net. Yes, all these herd shares deliver, guys. Okay, so to catch everybody up, all these herd shares deliver, okay? Herd share number 1, $50 donation to me for the form and your member number. That lets you order. You have to fill out and sign and send in your herd share form to the farmer. You call them and you place your order. Poultry is $4.85 a pound. Sheep is $8 a pound. Pork is $7 a pound. Horse is $12 a pound. Rabbits are $9 each. A gallon of milk is $8. Cheese is $6 a pound. No salt, raw cheese, never heated, $6 a pound. Cheapest cheese on the market, okay? The herd share fee for the farmer is $20. To get the farm, it's $50 to me. If you're in my school, you get a $15 discount on the form, the $50. Herd share number 2 is chicken only, no corn, no soy, pasture raised. All of these meats, no chemicals, no injections, no hormones, no nothing. Okay, it's perfect quality, guys. This is why it is what it is. Shipping, I don't know what shipping is. I live in Ohio. The farm's in Ohio. It was $10 to me. The other farm is in like Kansas or something. I don't know what. He sent me a chicken. I forgot to ask him how much it cost to ship it, but it's not too bad. It's not going to be as expensive as Amos Miller. This is cheaper than Amos Miller by far. And the quality is the same or better. It's all fresh, never frozen. Meat, organs, glands, blood. You're not going to get these prices and this deal anywhere else. I'm just saying. So, yeah. They all deliver. When I was put in a different environment on the primal or raw meat, my skin got significantly better when I had more sunlight and less EMF exposure. Yeah, the sunlight is also going to be very important. I notice my skin's a lot better when I get sun. Shipping is 2-day shipping. It's 2-day shipping. He sends it 2-day shipping, UPS or FedEx. Yeah. So 2-day shipping. You call, so let's say you call an order on a Monday. He'll probably get it shipped out to you, so you get it Friday or Saturday. You call an order on a Friday or a Saturday or a Thursday. He'll ship it Monday. If you call later in the week, you'll get it next week. He's not going to ship it out because Sunday they may not ship, So it's 2-day shipping. He generally tends to ship Wednesdays and Tuesdays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are shipping days. So order before then. So you would never marry an Amish woman and live among them. No, I would not live Amish. That's not for me. I'm not saying I wouldn't marry an Amish woman, but she would probably come live with me. She would probably leave her Amish community. I would not want to integrate into the Amish community, honestly. Personally. $11 viewers, 9 likes. That's amazing, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. No, they don't freeze, guys. This is, for the third time, 2-day delivery on the herd shares everywhere. 2-day delivery in the United States. Fresh, never frozen. Fresh, never frozen. Meat, glands, organs, blood. These are small Amish family farms. They do not have freezers. This is fresh, ready to order meat, organs, glands, blood. Delivered directly to you in 2 days, 2-day shipping. This is the best setup for meat on this diet in the country. I'm telling you. You could request glass. I don't know if they will. It's going to cost extra if you want glass. And there's a chance the glass can break, by the way. So, yep. I don't know how much more I have to explain. Just watch my videos on it. Just watch my videos on the herd share. It's the herd share update. That's what you want to watch. That's got the recent prices and scheme. Those prices are amazing. Yeah, obviously. I'm currently ordering some dairy from Greenland Acres. Man, it is expensive, but unfortunately I can't find another place that sells the same quality and non-frozen. Yeah, Paul really knocks it out of the park. Paul knows what he's doing. Paul's a great guy. He's read the book. He's way on board with the diet. His cheese is really good. I haven't had his cream, but I'm sure it's amazing. My guy from Kansas, he could ship milk and maybe cream and cheese. But with the shipping, I don't really know if it would be much less expensive. Creamline Acres prices are not too bad, honestly. I think it's $28 for a half a gallon of cream, right? And $12 a pound for cheese. That's not too bad. But like I said, I have other contacts. They do it for $8.50 a pound if you buy 5 pounds, which is pretty good. I ordered 15 pounds. It came out to $167 with shipping, so it's not too bad. The other guy, Chris. He has cheese at $6 a pound. I don't know how good it is, though. He's just starting, so hopefully his cheese making becomes better. But $6 a pound for cheese, that's half the price of Creamline Acres. So, we'll see. Dairy is just expensive. It's just one of those things, Especially when you ship it. I guess the shipping adds a lot of cost. It's $25 shipping at least for USPS. It's about $25-$30 for, a 15-pound order. Do you never notice milk having weird chemically aftertaste in the mouth? The plastic sometimes. Nope. I don't notice that. I transfer my milk to glass as soon as I get it. It never stays in plastic for more than a day. The Amish most don't eat raw meat. Amos Miller eats raw meat. I ate raw meat with Amos Miller at the Primal Diet Conference. Amos Miller believes in raw meat. But no, you're right. Most Amish do not eat raw meat. They think it's satanic and against the Bible because there's blood in the meat. They feel like it needs to be cooked. I've had an Amish client, and he was hesitant about eating raw meat, but he was so desperate with his health, he gave it a shot. It helped him, but he doesn't do it as much as he should. I think he got permission from his church to eat that way. But yeah, they don't eat raw meat generally. 16-pound of butter for glass. Damn, that's expensive. I pay $5 a pound for butter in plastic. $16 a pound for butter in glass is crazy, bro. I'm researching what herd share is. So, no, there's no ongoing fees. It's a one-time fee. As I was explaining, Bill, it's a one-time fee. A one-time donation to me for the form. That gets you the form. And then it's a one-time fee to the farmer. $20 for herd share 1, $35 for herd share 2. There's no ongoing fees, guys. It's all laid out in the herd share form. You buy into the herd. That includes any increases or decreases. In the herd. So, it's all Gucci. As a co-owner, no, that's the thing, Bill. You don't pay any fees. No, I'm telling you, you don't pay any fees. You pay one fee, a one-time fee to the farmer, and then he's responsible for everything else. He has the say in the herd. You don't have any say in how he manages or deals with the herd. So, that's not what I'm saying. This diet is not going to be available forever. Eventually, we'll be forced to eat bugs. That's not true. You just have to get your own food in order. You just have to network. You have to network and make relationships and have knowledge to get your own food. You're not a co-owner. Technically, you're a owner in the herd, but you're not like co. You're an underlying entity. Yeah, no, I don't own the herds. Yeah, no, I don't own the herds, buddy. I'm a business development person for them. I get them good members. I don't know why you would assume I pay ongoing fees for the herd. I don't. People pay me to get the forms. They give me a donation for the forms. And then I send them to the farmers. I don't have anything to do with their business. The government across the West, small farms banned because of CO2 emissions. Yep, in Europe. Isn't butter and plastic bad? No, it's not. It's not bad. Plastic and milk and butter is not that big of a deal. Because that stuff binds to the fats. It doesn't get into your body that easy. It goes through. So, yes, I did set up these deals and shit. Yes. That's why I get the $50 for the form. That's why I get the donation. If people don't pay me for the form, they don't order. If people don't want access to the best fresh quality meat, organs, glands, blood, and dairy shipped to them, the best prices, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm giving you the best food on a silver platter, and it just takes a donation to get access to it. And if you don't want to pay for it, you're not worth it. You're not going to be a good member. I don't want broke people who are too afraid to support a farmer and people who do this stuff to have access to this food. If you don't want to invest in that, I don't really care. Don't buy it. Don't support. Don't patronize it. I don't care. It's not my problem that you can't get healthy food. It's not my problem you're too lazy to run down farms and make connections. It's not my problem. You can eat supermarket meat. I don't really care. You think that until they raid your farm and euthanize the animals because of some BS slime or climate flu. I don't know. I don't own a farm, so. And really, at the end of the day, the government cannot raid everybody's farm. The government does not have the means to police neighborhoods and do all that stuff. So that's just pointless fear-mongering. That's not living in reality. I mean, yes, right now they're making a show of it. And they're really enacting regulations. Like in Europe, they're not doing the site visits. And Europe is different than the United States. You know, the federal government, the USDA, does not have the infrastructure to police all the farms in the country. Just so you know. And at a state level, that stuff is not likely to happen. I'm telling you. So. This happened in France. Yep. You have the wrong end of the stick found in the field. I'm just curious how it works. I literally explained how it works 3 times, Bill. I don't know what you understand. What don't you understand? The thing about putting fear in some farmers is to force all the farmers to comply. Yeah, exactly. you tried onion juice for hair loss? No, I haven't. Does that work? I found out I got 61 injections by 12, including 3. Can I detox? If so, how? Yeah, do the diet. That's all I can tell you is just do the diet. I can't tell you without a full consultation and history and looking at you and your height and your weight, like what to do over this medium. I can just tell you to just do the diet. Read the books, first of all. You got to read the books, read Ajanus's books, and do the diet. Do the baths, do the diet. Yeah. Shoes, man. Ajanus hair loss protocol doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how would you even use onion juice on your head? I don't get that. My school? You went to the school? My school is $15 a month. You're going to the wrong website. The school is $15 a month. It's actually, I'm sorry, it's $18 a month right now. And that's actually going to go up soon, in like 3 days. So here, let me share. Can I share this? Hold on, let me invite. Let me send a. Yeah, that's the school. The Primal Diet website is not. It's my website, but it's not something it's not going to get you into my network. That's for the Primal Diet. This is for me. This is separate. Hair loss is mostly caused by fungus on your head. You have to kill it with antifungals. In order to gain access to herd share, number 1. Message me on Instagram. Message me on Instagram. or TikTok or Discord, wherever you can find me. Or on school. I don't really give out my email. I must rest here a moment. What's your Discord? Let's buy a primal farm. No, I'm good. It's just eat raw meat. And you can find me on Instagram too. Instagram's probably better. Try to do orange smoothies and take baths. Just keep eating lots of raw fat, the milkshakes, the lubes, white meat. You could also try, if you're doing vegetable juice, beet juice in your vegetable juice will help. And ginger. I like ginger. So, wow, my viewers really dropped off. Everybody left. Yeah, I have my link tree up, so you can check out my link tree that has all my links for socials. I've been making ginger tea. Yeah, I wouldn't make the tea. I would just juice the ginger into your vegetable juice and do that. So the orange smoothies is just oranges and eggs. That's what a smoothie is per the book. You do eggs and fruit is a smoothie. For an orange, you could do anywhere from 3 to 4, maybe 5 eggs if it's a big orange per, that's your ratio. So I could drink, 3, 4, or 5 of those a day. I drink those especially if I'm having chest congestion and a cough. The orange smoothies are really fabulous to help clear that up very quickly. But in general, for flus and such, colds, they can also be helpful. I probably wouldn't do 5 in a day. I would probably do 5 or 6 in a day if I have serious coughing and chest congestion. I might do 1 or 2, maybe 3 if I'm just not feeling good with the flu, after effects of the flu. I'm doing 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 in a day to help with that. And that's a dozen eggs right there. A dozen eggs and 3 oranges. You could probably put in a little cream if you wanted to, if the citrus kind of irritates you, but I don't. I just do eggs and oranges. It helps. That's what I do. But yeah, the beet juice helps produce hydrochloric acid in your body, which can help dissolve things, junk in your body everywhere. So 10% beet juice, 20% beet juice, celery parsley beet juice is pretty good to do there. That's what I like when I have a detox, is I really like to do the beet juice. So I'm a big fan of beet juice. I think it's really underrated. Thanks for finding my channel. Thanks for watching. I hope I hope you're learning. I hope you're benefiting. Yes, you're welcome. It looks like our viewers fell off a cliff. Maybe people got offended. I got kind of snippy at them. What did you do during the pandemic? Nothing really. Clavicular is insane. Yeah, he's a mentally ill drug addict. Fungus. Interesting. Hair loss is caused by a fungus? I don't know about that. I got some messages here. Let me clear them up. Okay. 12:30. Man, how the time flies. Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm signing off, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.